Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As always, it's a pleasure to be back with you all. Today the video that I have for you is the English version of the previous video and the doubts that you will experience or that you may have experienced on your path to spirituality and during your awakening. I decided to bring you this video because this is something that I experienced myself, and I've heard it from many that they have been experiencing these doubts. And I don't want you to give up on developing your gift and throw it all away, because this is part of your spiritual awakening. This is something that we all experience, and I feel this is part of our spiritual lesson. This is meant to strengthen us. When you start developing your gift, you have to first start connecting with yourself, and then you start connecting with your guides and your ancestors and your protecting spirits. This is all part of that, like I said, that expansion, that growth process that we all go through. Another thing that can cause these doubts is earthbound spirits. Those spirits that are trapped, whether by choice or because they have not been able to move on for some reason or another. These earthbound spirits or dark entities can also try to influence you, to push you away from your path, to push you away from your that connection with your spiritual guides, and to push you away from helping others. I always say the closer we are to developing our gifts, the closer we are to that point of total awakening, of enlightenment. We will be tempted. We will be tempted by these earthbound spirits. We will be tempted. Jesus was tempted, so why can we be tempted? We are humans on a spiritual journey, but we will also be tempted by these spirits. This is their way of distracting us of our path, of trying to lure us away from our path. So we must maintain that focus. That is why it's so important when you are beginning your spiritual journey, when you are beginning to develop your spiritual connection, it is so important for you to take it slow, not to rush. Just because you begin to hear your spirits and you begin to feel them, do not jump immediately into try and do consultations, readings, cleansings, and spiritual work. This is something that can sort of set you back from your spiritual path. You have to go at a certain pace. We all have to move at a certain pace. And that is why the spirit, our guardian angel, our guides, our protecting spirits, the lois, that is why they are there. They are there to walk that path with us and to guide us. And when they see that we try to rush and go ahead of ourselves, then the spirits step back. And that is when the doubts come in. I can't feel you. I can't hear you. They're no longer with me. I'm going to take down this altar. I am not going to do this anymore because I cannot feel the spirits. And these dark spirits and entities take advantage of this moment, of this dark moment in your life. And they start influencing you, telling you, well, you don't really have this gift. Well, these spirits are no longer with you, and putting all these negative thoughts in your mind, because that is their job, to push you away from your path, because they know you're walking in light and they want to draw you into that darkness. So these spirits will do all those things to try to persuade you to leave your path. That is why it's so important to just take it slow. And if you feel that you are being influenced by negative thoughts, cleanse yourself. Cleansing is so important to maintain your aura cleanse, to maintain that connection with your spirit guides. It is very important. Prayer, meditation, all these things help to strengthen that connection with your guides, and at the same time it helps reject the negative energy of these spirits trying to influence you, and you are able to handle these negative thoughts when they arrive, and you're able to understand this is part of your spiritual growth, that it's not true that your spirits are not with you, that it's not true that God has abandoned you or that your spirits have abandoned you. This is just part of the process. And the more connected you are with your spirits, the more you can understand this and just ride that wave along and not allow it to affect you. This is why I always say, take your time. Take your time when you are developing spiritually, especially if you're beginning. Just because you go and get a reading and someone tells you, you have the ability as a healer, you have the ability as a reader, that does not mean that you go buy a deck of tarot cards and start giving readings. You're going to get confused because you do not have that connection developed with your spirit guides. The spirit guides are the ones that pass on the information to us, and we pass it on to you. That's how the information comes through. We get our information from our guides. I have had readings where my guides say, nope. And let me tell you, you can beg and holler. And if they say they are not going to speak, they will not speak. And then you will be on your own. And let me tell you, when you do a reading without the connection of the guides, your mind will go blank, completely blank. You will not know what to say, because the message does not come from the tarot cards, does not come from the crystal ball, does not come from any tools whatsoever. These are just tools to help us focus and keep our concentration. Once you are completely developed, you do not need these tools. You can just sit and read a person like a book and just know everything. I could be speaking to a person and I could sometimes know what they're thinking, and I could know if they're lying to me. Even though people still lie to me, I know, because my spirit guides are there. They're telling me this person's lying to you. This person is telling you what they're telling you is not true. I do not tell the person anything. I allow them to have their moment of fame. But it's that connection that we should all seek. Is that connection with our guides. Being able to hear them. Being able to feel them. Being able to call them when you need them. Because spirit has no time and space. You can call your spirit guides at any time whatsoever. When in need. Because it's not a joke, and this is not something to play with. It's not that you're going to be calling your spirit every 5 minutes. But if you need them, if you're going through a certain situation, if you need some help, if you're not feeling okay and you do not understand the feelings that you're feeling, yes, you can call on your guides, my spirit guides. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? They will answer you. They will answer you, or give you a sign, or put a thought in your mind what you need to do. Cleanse yourself. Take this and that and cleanse yourself. So that is the connection that we all should seek. Not rush into anything. Because if you rush, then you're giving that space, you're giving that open window to those earthbound spirits to put those thoughts in your mind. And the doubts and the fears and the anger, because a lot of anger can also resurface from all this. You can become angry and say things that you may later regret. Things to your spirits and things even to yourself. Because those earthbound spirits will make you feel worthless. But like I said, this is something that we all experience, especially when we're reaching that point, even though that road is pretty long, but when we're reaching that point, that strong connection with our guides, we will be tempted by these earthbound spirits that want to remove us from our path. So we will not do what we are meant to do, so we would not help others and help our family and help ourselves. So doubt, it is something normal. It is part of your spiritual development experience. It's part of that experience, and when you go through it, just step back. Step back. If you're not feeling that connection, if you're feeling that doubt, explain to your spirits, I am feeling this at this moment. Help me to deal with it. And if I need a cleansing, please guide me as to what I need to do. And your spirits will always be willing to help you. They are very understanding. Spirits are all full of love. I mean, the spirits of light. They're very loving, and they are always there to forgive us for our mistakes and help us on our spiritual path, because that is their purpose. They come with us. They come to this incarnation with us. your guardian angels, spirit guides, protecting spirits, and there are others that are added along the way that come from our lineage, from our family lineage, and they are added to a spiritual quadrant, and they all have something to bring to the table to help us on this journey. Don't get disappointed. Like I said, if you feel a lot of anger, just take a cold shower, take a spiritual bath, grab some cascarilla and colonia, wipe yourself down. If that is not helping, just breathe it out and release it. Release it to Mother Earth. Breathe it out. It will pass. What worked for me when I went through that experience is that I stayed away from my altar because I didn't want to bring that negative energy to my altar. And I did a lot of spiritual cleansing, a lot of baths. I cleansed myself a lot. I cleansed my home, and a lot of prayer, because these dark spirits can really attack, and I mean attack, and put a lot of negative thoughts in your mind, tell you that you're worthless, tell you that you're not spiritual and all these things. But I always had the connection of my spirits, and I'm very close to God. I have a strong connection with God also, and prayer works for me. Prayer works for me in bringing down the white light and just wrapping myself in the warmth of that white light. That helped me a lot. But this stage of your awakening can be very difficult. But do not believe the words you hear and those doubts, and the doubts about your spirituality, the doubts about your religion, whatever it is, the doubts about God, if the spirits exist, and all these things. Just try and go back to those experiences that you had, that connection you had with your spirits, that connection that you had with God, and that should bring you back into focus. Do not allow these thoughts to lure you away from your spiritual path. Understand that this too shall pass, and you will be okay. But just try and strengthen that connection with your spirit guides. Sit in front of your altar. Sit in front of your bóveda, if you have either or, and just meditate. Meditate. Sit there. Don't ask any questions. Just do the Lord's Prayer. Close your eyes. Fill yourself with white light and meditate. It will make it a lot easier, and it will strengthen you a lot more. If you guys have any questions in regards to this video, you can always place your comments below in the comment box, and I answer every questions if I can get to them, because sometimes a lot of them keep coming in, but I try to answer all your questions. If you have enjoyed this video, I ask you to share it in all your social media. If you liked it, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe. God bless you. I love you, in love and light.